Back at it again. We are talking flick. I am Headkrack.
I am Algernon's October. Good evening. Let's talk flick, bro.
Bro, listen, we saw something epic the other night, and I think if people wasn't already rocking with Ryan Gosling, I mean, and also big shout out to Emily Blunt as well, they're going to be super rocking with him after watching The Fall Guy.
Absolutely. The cast was excellent. Like you mentioned, they had Ryan Gosling. You saw him in all the Barbie films, as well as many other things. Emily Blunt, who has like the best name ever, Quiet Place, and so many other things. Winston Duke, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. And of course, we had a cameo from the original Fall Guy, Lee Majors. It was definitely epic, bro.
Oh, and also got to send a major shout out to Hannah Waddingham, who was also in this movie. She was playing like one of the executives. And for those who don't know who she is on that show, Ted Lasso, which a lot of people was like, flipping out over the last couple of years. Really good show. Have you ever watched it?
I have not. I've heard of it, but maybe I need to give it a spin. When Headkrack makes a recommendation, I always at least check it out. It's usually pretty good.
My brother, I usually don't watch things that make me feel good. Like, usually I watch like things about drug dealing and crime and zombies, right?
Things that are opposite of your life.
Ted Lasso is one of those shows where it's like, damn, man, I feel good about being a person. And Hannah Waddingham is in it, and she's like mysteriously beautiful. It's really weird because she's not classically beautiful, but she has a thing going on. I can't explain it, but I like it. I like it. And shout out to Emily Blunt, too. Like, she also has it going on. You know what I'm saying?
Emily Blunt was actually looking pretty good in this one as well. I think the last movie I seen her in was Quiet Place. So obviously with that one, I think she was pregnant and stressed out. So they kind of cleaned her up on this one. She actually looked a lot better.
Yeah, now she's back to being like, sex symbol status. But, for those who've never seen the TV show The Fall Guy, and we was talking about this in the theater, it was out when I was so young that I had no idea really what I was watching. Because like there was something about the 80s to where like the theme songs of some of these shows would reel you in almost more than the TV shows did. So I would definitely like, oh, I've been seen with Farrah and da, da, da. So like it had me, and I was like, cool, I'll watch this. And you see cars jumping over stuff, and like I'm single digit age at this time when this is on. So I'm like, okay, I'll watch this, but I could never grasp what was really happening. I just knew he was a stuntman and they solving crimes or something. I don't know what the labor laws were, like, because usually anytime I've ever been on a set, it's been an all-day thing. This dude was a stuntman. It seemed like he was never filming.
He was allowed to go out and solve crimes. He was using his powers for good.
We call that plot armor and just ill use of time in for the sake of storyline and plot. But modernizing it 2024 style, I think there's a lot of fan service for people who dug the original and are walking into something that they have no idea what they're watching. So if you remember the OG Fall Guy, you'd be like, yo, that's kind of like the truck. And there's some other, was there any other points of connectivity that stood out for you?
Just in general, the stunts and everything that they were doing, it all reminded me of pretty much every episode I saw. And I'm from the same era as you. I was born in 74, came up in the 80s. Show was super popular around that time. But to be completely transparent, just like you, the theme song and the introduction footage always caught my attention more than what was going on in each episode. I knew it was about a stuntman who also did some moonlighting as a bounty hunter, which same thing as you. I didn't understand how he had time to do that. And as a kid, I just kind of used the show as a background to whatever I was doing at the time. So I didn't really connect with a lot of the characters. I'm pretty sure I probably went into the screening with that exact same attitude as I had as a kid. But happy to say that I was pleasantly surprised at how much fun the movie ended up being. Like, so much fun that I think I'm going to go back and actually check out some of the 80s reruns to see if they kind of have that same energy, because I had a good time with it.
Yo, listen, I mean, like action from beginning to end, not because it was just an action movie, but yo, there's something about Ryan Gosling overall. And I say this with all of the no Diddy energy available, right? Yo, I have been a fan of this dude ever since I saw this movie called Drive. And in Drive, he was a driver for like, getaway car people. Like when these cats were doing crimes, he was the getaway driver. Right. And he was also a stunt driver. It almost could be said that Drive was a prequel to The Fall Guy, but it's not. But if you want to be creative, you could say that.
Headkrack take. I like that.
Yo, let's get it, right? And on the strength of that movie, I became mentally invested in anything that Ryan Gosling did from that point on. Because I wasn't a Ryan Gosling fan who started like following Ryan Gosling when he did The Notebook, because that's a lot of people's like first check-in point. Some people was with him from the Mickey Mouse Club, but for me, it was dude had like minimal dialogue, if any at all, in Drive, and he was just murking people.
Yeah, he made a great impact.
Yeah, and then after Drive, I think I saw him in this movie called Public Enemies. But I could have that botched up. That could be a movie with Johnny Depp. But basically, the movie I'm trying to explain was like a gangster flick, and it was set like in the 1930s. Sean Penn was in it, and he was really dope in it. I think he played like a young Elliot Ness or something in it.
I'm not sure, but it sounds interesting as hell. I want to see what's going on with it. But I agree with you, though. It was the perfect blend of kind of action comedy and surprisingly romance. Like, it's really difficult for a film to be able to strike a balance with all three of those movie categories. But The Fall Guy did that perfectly, and I wasn't expecting that. It caught me off guard. There was like a whole love story between, you know, Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt's characters. I forgot the names that they had used in the movie, but I just came into it expecting kind of an action comedy, and what I got was like an action-packed rom-com. And I think we were talking about that a little bit in the theater. And it was so many brilliant things about the film. Like, the movie was a movie about a group of people making fun of a movie. So the movie was making fun of itself in real time, which I like enjoyed. And I enjoyed watching them kind of spoof themselves, and as well as spoof the whole movie making process. It was absolutely hilarious.
No, I love the meta of it all. You know what I mean? Like, it was very self-aware at some points, but not breaking the fourth wall, but coming, you know, as close as one can.
Super close, like really, really close. They were like right on the edge. I was just like, just look into the camera and just go ahead and say something.
Yeah, you know, because like even certain things that, you know, they would telegraph that you knew would come up later, you just wait for it. Like, all right, cool. But the payoff is great, and you know, to watch, you know, the story unfold in real time coming into the theater with a clean slate, like you said, you know, everybody walked out of there with smiles on their faces.
It was a real happy type of movie. You know, it's like I had fun, and I expected it to be funny. I expected it to have some cool moments, but it was from beginning to end a really fun movie. Like, if you know absolutely nothing about the original series, you know nothing about the song, you might have just heard about it, but you never watched it, you would get into this movie and at minimum go, okay, that was entertaining. Like, overall, I mean, just to kind of to wrap up in terms of what it really is, it's basically just a tribute, you know, or the ultimate love letter to all the stunt professionals that have made the actors that we love on screen, you know, look so fine, as the song would say. Like, it's a hilarious love story where, you know, Ryan and Emily's characters kind of play cat and mouse throughout the whole movie, and their chemistry is just so amazing that it made it feel authentic. Like, you really were watching two people who were kind of, you know, bonding and really falling in love, like, on the screen. It was that good.
Yeah, and if I had to punch at some things in the movie, there was a couple tropes that I felt like they did go back to more than they needed to. And I think anyone, when you see the movie, you'll know exactly what part I'm talking about. I don't want to give too much away. And then also, too, we talked about how iconic the original theme song was. And when a theme song plays, it's not the one. It's the lyrics we know, but it's not the one. And I feel like that's just one of them joints to where, come on, man, you gotta run the real thing. Run the one that people know so everybody can sing along. It was almost like when they switched Trey Songz out for Joe on the Power theme song.
That's exactly what it was.
And it's like, yo, we know this song, but we don't like this version.
We need the one we grew up with. Yeah, I was kind of looking specifically for that particular song, that particular singer singing it. It did take a little bit off. I guess my only nitpick is, as much as I loved it and as much fun as I had watching it, it was a tad too long. I felt like they could have trimmed it down just a little bit. It was a little long with it. It was times I was like, okay, I'm having fun, but come on, let's go and wrap up all this craziness. But that be it. I think that'd be the only, you know, other than the theme song, I think that's great too. That'd be the only nitpick I had about the movie.
Yeah, and also too, got to point out, one of the first movies I watched completely sober in a while, and it made it feel like it was also real time. And I do also concur, like maybe 20 minutes. Trim a little 20 minutes out of it, you have a nice little lean economical film, because there was certain parts where it's like, all right, and now here's the part where you blah blah blah. They didn't quite do what I thought they was gonna do at this one particular part, but I got some incarnation of that. And then also too, we gotta say, stick around to the end of the credits just so you could get cool little treats. You know what I'm saying, that await you. You know, like the mid-credit cutscenes aren't just for Marvel films anymore.
Exactly. There's a lot of cool stuff that does happen, so definitely stick around, like you said. But it's a fun movie, man. I call it like a date night movie, or
Oh hell yeah,
sit around the house and put some food together and just kind of hang out and watch something. You just want something that's light, that's not going to make you think too hard, that you can just get into the world, get fully immersed into what's going on with it, laugh, have a good time, and go do something else. Fall Guys definitely for you.
Yeah, and even if you have no date, you can go dolo and not feel bad about it. You know what I'm saying? This ain't a Jennifer Lopez movie where like, yo, if you go there by yourself, dude, like what's going on, bro? Like, and it's weird to say that because it's Jennifer Lopez. She's fun to look at, especially in 4K or 8K, depending on the theater you're going in. But like, yeah, you can see it on a date. You can see it with your mate, like homie. Like I'm talking Australian now. You know what I mean? And it still hits the same. So, over here talking flicks, all about the dap. What kind of dap you giving it, bro?
I'm going in, and this is 2 times in a row. So we on a roll with this, man. I'm going full. Just came home from jail. Happy to see you. Arms around the neck. Yeah, you getting a full one. Again, my only nitpick was kind of the time. I think you just talked about maybe a few, tropes and as well as the theme song. But over that, nah, man, I'm pulling it in with the full dap with this one.
Yo, I also am pulling in with the full dap. However, it's gonna get to a point where we pull it in with the full dap, and I'll be like, "Hey, you're holding on a little too long." And that is a tip my hat to how long the movie went when it should have, yeah, like, hey, I'm putting you in, and I'm really happy to see you, and I hope to see you again soon. But now you have to let me go.
Exactly.
And we're rocking out. So I am trying to figure out where I'll have time in my social economy to try to see this again, so I can support it with my money in theaters. But yeah, Fall Guy, man. Hopefully we get a sequel.
I would not mind having a sequel, but I also cannot wait till it comes to streaming. So when it comes to streaming, you definitely want to go ahead and check this one out. I fully recommend it. Talking Flick gives it a full dap. You should go ahead and check it out immediately when it comes out.
Bring it in. Bring it in.
Full dap. Full dap.
You know what I mean?
Fun. Doing what we do in Talking Flick. I can't wait till the next movie, man.
No doubt, man. Well, yo, man, appreciate everybody tapping in who tapped in on the last one. Be sure you check out our previous video where we discussed the movie. I forgot the movie. What was the movie we discussed last time?
Late Night
with the Devil.
Oh, that's right. We got on our horror bag last time.
Did you go see it a second time yet?
I actually bought it and I watched it last weekend when it came out, and I'm thinking about actually going to watch it again. I'm having fun. The end is a tad little murky for me now. Now I'm like looking at it, trying to figure out some more stuff. We'll get into that another time. But yes, I'm enjoying the hell out of that. So make sure y'all go and enjoy the hell out of it. That's funny. But make sure y'all go and check out Late Night with the Devil review as well. And obviously go ahead and make sure you pull up on Fall Guy when it comes out. Talking Flick.
No doubt. And for people who like classic movies, if you want to get our takes on like classic iconic films, drop a comment below, man. We can do a classic Talking Flick as well. This channel is here to serve you guys, the cinema buffs, the people who will go see a movie 50, 11 times just because you really like it. That's what we're here for. We're here to, talk about the films we're passionate about, but also share that passion with y'all so we could all have something in common and bond. All right?
Absolutely, my brother. It's always a pleasure. Everybody be safe. Watch a movie and enjoy your life. Talking Flick with your boys.